Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and this time we're talking about books. And books play quite a major role in my life. I've been reading 50 to 60 books each year for the last 4 years, and of course a bunch of them were also Bitcoin specific books. So I give you my top 10 recommendations that will push you down the rabbit hole. This is not a top 10 in the sense that there is a clear order. I'll actually give you the order in which I read them myself. Let's go! Number 1, The Internet of Money Volumes 1, 2 and 3 by Andreas Antonopoulos. If you're not completely new to the world of Bitcoin, the name Andreas Antonopoulos should ring a bell. He's without a doubt one of the best speakers and educators Bitcoin has to offer. The Internet of Money series is a collection of his talks, very non-technical and easy to understand with lots of analogies. Volumes 1 and 2 were my first Bitcoin books, and I read Volume 3 very much later on. What I liked about these books is that the talks are self-contained, so you can just jump to whatever talk seems interesting and read that one to gain new insights. Number 2, The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous. Yeah, another non-surprising recommendation. While The Internet of Money gave me a basic understanding of what Bitcoin is, Saifedean's book hammered home why we need it. I remember exactly where and when I read it. There was no way out of the rabbit hole after reading The Bitcoin Standard. What I found fascinating is that the first half of the book doesn't talk about Bitcoin at all, but about the origin of money and its historic use. A little critique here, I thought the first third of the book was brilliant and so was the last third. I just didn't like the middle third, which was a pure rant. But nonetheless, an absolute must read, and I'm very excited for the Fiat Standard, which should be released soon. Next up is number 3, which is 21 Lessons by Gigi. I've been fangirling over Gigi quite a lot recently. His article Bitcoin is Time is mind-blowing, and so are his recent tweet threads. 21 Lessons is a collection of what Gigi learned from falling down the rabbit hole. It's available for free on 21lessons.com, and you can also get a paperback version on Amazon. The book is structured similarly to my very first video. The 3 parts are philosophy, economics, and technology. Maybe the most important lesson is that Bitcoin should be examined holistically, from multiple angles, if one would like to have something approximating a complete picture. Just like removing one part from a complex system destroys the whole, examining parts of Bitcoin in isolation seems to taint the understanding of it. And that's my approach to Bitcoin as well, so we also need a technical introduction. The best one is written again by Andreas Antonopoulos and is called Mastering Bitcoin. I read this one twice. It taught me about addresses, SHA-256, the elliptic curve digital signature algorithm, constructing transactions, wallets, and so much more. I should probably read it a third time, as I'm constantly forgetting details. If you want to understand how Bitcoin works on a deeper level, this book is for you. Another technical introduction would be Jimmy Song's Programming Bitcoin, which I never picked up though. I will at some point. Coming up at number 5 is What Has Government Done to Our Money by Murray Rothbard. This one is not really specific to Bitcoin. In fact, it was published in 1963. It's available for free on Mises.org, and I'll just give you a short description formulated by the Mises Institute. After 50 years, it remains the best book in print on the topic, a real manifesto of sound money. Rothbard boils down the Austrian theory to its essentials. The book also made huge theoretical advances. Rothbard was the first to prove that the government, and only the government, can destroy money on a mass scale, and he showed exactly how they go about this dirty deed. But just as importantly, it is beautifully written. I think it's also an easy read, being just about 100 pages long and giving a good introduction to the Austrian school. This book also introduced me to more books of the Austrian School of Economics. So at number 6 we have another book from the Austrian School, The Ethics of Money Production by Jörg Guido Hülsmann. Available for free on Mises.org as well, and interestingly enough published a year before Bitcoin's inception. To me, this is one of the most underrated books in the context of Bitcoin. It boils down the economics and ethics of money production, and the conclusion reads like the author was just waiting for Bitcoin to happen. There is no reason why today we should be unable to accomplish such things or something even better. Number 7, Layered Money by Nick Bhatia. I actually love this book. It's a crossover of the Bitcoin Standard, the Internet of Money, and Nick's own thoughts. I made a short video summary of the book in case you're interested to get an overview. Nick perfectly describes Bitcoin's roots, why it's necessary that it has more layers than just the basic blockchain foundation, and more importantly, how money currently and always has been layered. The book is beginner-friendly, but even more experienced Bitcoiners will gain new information from this. The next one on my list that I read was The Blocksize War by Jonathan Beer. This is another book I've covered on the channel. It describes the events between 2015 and 2017, when Bitcoin entered its first full-on war that split the community like nothing else has. Its major question is about how big blocks should be, a question that doesn't sound dramatic at all. However, as the subheadline of the book says, this conflict really meant the following. The battle over who controls Bitcoin's protocol rules. It's a fascinating story and I learned a lot about all the characters involved, like Roger Ver, Barry Silbert, Craig Wright, Adam Back, and so on. To me, this book is a must-read in case you want to understand the trade-offs of smaller and bigger blocks and the history of SegWit, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin SV. Number 9 is another book that is not really tied to Bitcoin directly. It's called When Money Dies: The Nightmare of the Weimar Hyperinflation. This is a third book I've covered on the channel. As you can see, every Bitcoin related book I read since the start of the channel got turned into a video. This is not only a fantastic book, but also one of my favorite videos, so I encourage you to check it out. The book displays the devastating effects of the hyperinflation in the Weimar Republic after the First World War, explains how it enabled Hitler and how the authorities were either completely clueless about what caused the inflation or simply didn't change the effects on purpose. Read the book, it's one of the best history lessons you can find. And finally, at number 10, this is quite a new book. It's called The Bullish Case for Bitcoin by Vijay Boyapati. And I actually haven't read this one, but I ordered it and I'm so sure it will be good that I'm recommending it already. The foundation to this book is Vijay's article with the same name, The Bullish Case for Bitcoin. If I could only recommend one single Bitcoin article to someone, it would 100% be this one. It's long, but yet concise. It walks you through how money evolves and why Bitcoin is here to stay. It has been one of the key works for my Why Bitcoin Matters video and is recommended by every Bitcoiner you'll find. That's why I'm confident that the book will be great as well. Other Bitcoin books that I read but left out from the list are Jeff Booth's The Price of Tomorrow: Why Deflation is the Key to an Abundant Future, Nathaniel Popper's Digital Gold, and Blockchain Basics by Daniel Drescher. The Price of Tomorrow is highly recommended by many, but to be honest, I didn't like it that much. It's very broad on many topics, but doesn't really go deep on one of them. So I actually didn't learn that much from it. Digital Gold describes Bitcoin's history and involved characters. I read it a few years ago, and to be honest, I don't really remember why I didn't like it that much. Blockchain Basics is good, but so are the other 10 books on the list. There are also many other books that are not included here because I simply didn't read them yet. Inventing Bitcoin, Crypto Economics, Human Action, which I started but I'm taking quite long, The Book of Satoshi, Programming Bitcoin, and Grokking Bitcoin, to name just a few. One of the most recommended books for Bitcoiners is also The Sovereign Individual. I don't know why, but I'm somehow unable to read it. I have the paperback and Kindle version, started reading it twice and never even reached the halfway point. I really don't know why, because I thought it was really interesting and some chapters were truly eye-opening. I will give it a third try soon and then finally finish it. And that's it from this video. I hope you learned about a few new books that you can pick up. I'm also interested in your recommendations. I currently have 138 books on my to-read list, but hey, I'm always open for more. If you enjoyed the video, I would also appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for further content, and then I see you next time.